Can't hear you. Sounds better.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome, awesome. Good to see you, man. How you doing?
Good, thanks, Mike.
Nice one, nice one. Don't know if we'll get some more people joining. We'll see. It's been a while since we've done some meetings. I just got Robert coming in. Let's get Robert in here. Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I've been away for a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I think I missed the last one as well.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
How you doing,
Can you hear
Robert?
me?
Yeah, I
Oh,
can hear you,
good.
man. Loud and
I
clear.
had to repair my house pods. I'm like, what? Been so long
Awesome.
since we have a meeting. That's what I just use these on this computer without the mic or camera on it. So I use my AirPods. How you guys
Okay.
doing?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, doing pretty good, man. Pretty good. Yeah. I've been organizing my room. My room's been a mess for a while. Like I've had so much stuff underneath my bed and in the drawers is full up with random junk. So I finally cleared all
Yeah.
of that out. Put some stuff in the attic. Got some stuff in the wardrobe. So trying to get a fresh start here, you know.
Do you have wall space there?
Decently, yeah.
Yeah. Have you looked at the multi-board?
I'll show around. So I got the 3D printer there. I got some cardboard. 3D printer.
Have you
Oh,
have
I
you
guess
looked at the
disconnected.
multi-board?
The multi-board. I've
That's
seen
one
it
of the
before, yeah.
organizer system. You can screw that on the wall and then add all kinds of places to hang shit and put the
Try and
organize and stuff.
reconnect
I'm working
this.
on that right now myself. I printed some 48 inches strips on my belt printer last couple weeks, and I'm just same thing. I'm going through the rearrange process in the shop right now and trying to build some more tables and that. So
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
do you have like any pictures of that you can send?
yeah, let me dig that up with and you guys can chat for a minute here. Let me
Nice. How's it
uh
going, Stan? You all good?
Very well, thanks. How are you all?
Yeah, pretty
Good,
good,
thanks.
pretty good.
Good, good.
How come it looks different there? Looks a little different.
Uh, well,
It's
it kind
there.
of has a weird reddish tint to it, but at least it's not magenta. It's a cheap ass webcam I bought a while back.
I don't know if I
The
usually saw
face looks
the outside
of a
view.
bright. Oh, it's daylight outside. We've got this daylight savings thing going on now.
That's what it is.
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
you can see the backyard through the window instead of just this opaque square of, life sucking middle of the dark night at 5 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah, that's definitely it. It brings a bit of extra life to the room, you know.
Indeed. Yeah. And of course, then there's the misery in the room too. And that's the pile of documentation trying to finish up my taxes for the year. So yippee
Fair.
skippy.
Yeah, go ahead. No one likes taxes.
And
It's a
our
long
daylight
process.
saving finishes on Sunday.
Okay. That's right. Your flip side. Yeah.
Yeah. My one
I'm not
finished
sure how we refer to that, but okay.
upside down, back and forwards.
No, otherwise they'd fall off. Obviously, that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so
Sadly,
how's things been with you guys though?
Leave it.
Yeah, how's like 3D printing been? How's this life been, I guess? What's been going on?
I've been doing no 3D printing at all. I've been busy doing fun things like cutting down damaged and diseased trees and things like that. And, you know, Terry and I have been juggling chainsaws and tractors and long lengths of chain to pull things in the direction we want. So my life has been full of excitement, but no personal enlightenment. We were talking briefly in an email about that car you were printing, and you talked about going over to resin. There are ABS like resins, and the miniature guys recently have got some formulas for some ABS like resins that are very tough because, traditionally resin printed miniatures, when, your dwarf buxom dragon princess with a 9 foot long sword falls off the table, it shatters. And the gamers, of course, cry when this happens because they have weird plans for that. And they've come up with some things that are tough like ABS, but are also flexible. So I
Okay.
haven't used them. I've used some ABS like earlier iterations of those resins, and they seem to work quite well. So anyway, I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
I'd catch you tonight, and I'd meant to email you back and realized I hadn't with an answer to that question.
Right, yeah, yeah. That's all good. I've got some ABS like resins that I've had from ages ago because I've kind of hung up my resin printers for a while. I've just been printing all this filament stuff. So I went and got one of the bottles I had of like a white resin. Because obviously the car is it's a GTR, Nissan GTR Skyline, right? I think I got the model just on the side here. Let me quickly show you guys. So this one's out of filament, out of PETG. Yeah, white doesn't show up too well, but
Yeah.
let's see what I can do. You can kind of see
We
the
can
outline.
tell it's a car with mirrors, yes.
Maybe if I turn my light down in the actual room, that could help. But yeah, basically this is out of PETG because let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, it's a bit better. Still a bit.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, basically, yeah, so you can see the outline decent enough. And then the wheels, I've got the wheels on the side. So basically, the wheels, like, they come separate, but the way it fits on the actual, like, car itself, it doesn't really fit too flush. So I'd have to kind of, like, stick it to the underside at the top. And then it
Oh,
will just kind of be sitting there. So unless I drill like a hole in there and add one of those little things, but that's probably a bit extra. I could probably just stick it down onto that kind of section, and that should be okay. But yeah, I was thinking to do just resin instead. Resin, obviously, you can get some really good detail. Like I did a set of like cars. I did like you heard of the Pagano? It's one of those supercars. The owner of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, I think he has one of those. So I did one of those and a Tesla and like I think a Lamborghini out of resin, and the quality is insane, really good in resin. So yeah, I think it's better to do that instead.
we're, of course, all peasants. We have to settle for Bugattis, right?
Yeah, yeah, maybe one day, maybe one day.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, is there a way to upload or show photos in the chat? I can't see any way to do it. So
Maybe I don't know if you could
if not,
drag.
I can share my, I could do the share present now thing and show you a photo of that. If it is
Yeah,
that,
it could do.
is that the share my screen thing?
Yeah, I think so. Does it give you an option to do that?
Yeah.
Try this and see
Present
there.
now.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Shazam.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ah,
So that's
nice.
48 inches long by just about 8 inches wide, roughly, and that's Pet G on that new belt printer I got last month. So
Wow,
that's a clipper based belt printer with a self leveling and all that. It's our second generation one, and
that's
it's
good.
yeah. So yeah, so that's the multi-board. I printed all several strips of that. I'm going to charge you. Uh, um,
I think your signal's
try
cutting out a little
to
bit.
get that
What was that me?
mounted on the wall. So many. What's that? What's that? You got the screen back, right?
Your audio went springy for a while there.
Yeah, the audio sounded a bit robotic for a little bit, but it's better now.
With the screen share on. Anyway,
Maybe.
so that's what I was saying. That's well, the guy made one thing where he put this little ledge on there on the wall, and he put a 25-pound dumbbell on it, and it held it just fine. So
Wow, impressive.
so it's pretty strong stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I could do that. Right now I've got, so like a while ago I installed some filament wall racks, but I never got the pieces in between 'cause I've just been lazy. I did little wooden rods and stuff, so I need to go out and just go to like a local shop, like a hardware store, and get just the rod, because it's basically three. I'll probably show you from here. Let me see if I can hopefully not lose connection this time. So you see up there?
Yeah, you got brackets for a shelf or something, or a rod
Yeah.
for your spools.
Yeah, for the spools, because I've got so much filament.
Yeah.
I used to have
How's your
them all
humidity?
stacked up like on a side,
You-
but I've like cleared it up a bit.
How's your humidity there? Do you gotta put it in bags and stuff and desiccant, or
Humidity, got a little thing here. It's at 54. It's backwards, which is
that's the
Not too
humidity right now? So you gotta keep your pet G and stuff in some way to keep it dry. Yeah.
yeah. Usually I keep it in bags, like my PLAs and all that good stuff. So what I've done is I've
Yeah.
moved all the filament that was over there, and I've moved it to the wardrobe in another room. So it just allows me to have more space to organize things. So it's not too just kind of like packed full of stuff, right? So once I install the wooden rod, I'll put some filaments up there that I'm like commonly using. I was thinking maybe to do it along the longer side of the wall, if I need to, or I can maybe do the thing that you're doing with the multi-board. That could be a pretty cool idea, I think, for organization.
I'll send you a link here and there to see. You ever heard of the Rep Rack?
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's got a neat system there. I haven't, like I said, I haven't got that far yet, but I'm trying to get to getting a bunch of stuff up on the walls and trying to get it off the shelves and off the floor. And
Nice.
so,
What's
yeah,
that? What was that Clipper belt printer that you picked up a month ago? What make was that?
it's IDEA Former.
Okay.
I've heard
I'll
of
put
them.
a link in there for you. Yeah, I got it on the Kickstarter for about $600, and
Wow.
yeah, it's about just under 1,000 buying it retail. They got it out now, so but it's Clipper based, so it's way. I have the V1 too. This is the V2 version, and boy, I'll tell you what, it's way better with the Clipper. That first one has the old Marlin on it,
Yeah.
and I mean it worked, and it had a cloth belt on it instead of the PEI metal one they switched to now.
Okay.
And you had to
Nice.
manually level, and of course on the belt printers you only have one XY level pot for it because the head doesn't move, and then so but
That's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
an
impressive.
interesting. It's an interesting gizmo.
yeah, what's
Yeah.
nice now is that it's what's really nice is the like I said, the speed and self-leveling, and probably the biggest pain is that it only uses the only slicer that's really available is Idea Maker by what's that company? It makes all those commercial printers. But there just isn't any slicers out there for belt printers. So, and
Mm.
it's a weird way they do it. The way they configure and stuff, it's so different from most other slicers. But it's just Google it, figure it out. So, and I got it mostly working again. So,
Nice.
yeah, it's just weird. I mean, they just got such a strange interface. So
Yeah, yeah.
and
And
see
yeah,
what the price was on it.
Eric, yeah, I want to ask, how's your kind of projects going? I remember you was doing the what was you doing before? You was doing some kind of like, I remember, yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what you're doing. You was doing some kind of
Uh,
projects. One was like for the church or something, and then
yeah,
you was doing some
yeah, and
pieces.
one for a friend. I had a report back that the one I did for his ceiling fan. That's right, the adapter put his ceiling fan on to bring his ceiling fan down because of all the junk he had on his ceiling. And
Yeah,
he said that worked perfectly, so that was good. Had a
very
good
nice, very
report back
nice.
from that. But
Awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
good friend. I didn't really charge him much for that.
Yeah, that's good, man. And it's like good to get some experience, have like a 3D printing project that actually has like some functional use, you know?
Yeah,
Two birds, one stone.
yeah. Most of the things I make have got a functional use actually.
Nice, that's good, man. That's good. Because yeah, I was getting into all the dragons and stuff, so I was like, okay, doing some aesthetically
Got to do that.
pleasing ones. It's like,
I've
okay,
got to
let's
do it.
switch
I've
over
got to
to
do a
that.
dragon. Oh yeah, Mike. The dragons you do in those eggs.
Oh yeah,
Can you share the the files for
the file.
those?
So basically, those ones are commercial. So I
Oh
think you
right.
can get some
Uh,
free ones. Let me have a quick look. Like you can get some to kind of make just a regular. You just type in articulating dragon or articulated dragon, and like there's so many different designers that have them. Uh, yeah, I remember this guy, Pilots. He has this articulated ice dragon. I'll quickly share the link. So yeah, I just shared it in a chat. That's a pretty good one, articulated ice dragon. But yeah, the ones that I do, they're like Cinderwing 3D. So it's basically, she has like a commercial license, $10 a month, and you can
all
sell
right.
them, you know, as much as you want, basically. And she has like tons of designs. She has other miniatures. She has like rose dragons, baby dragons, all kinds of different stuff. So if you want to get into
Thanks for that.
that, it's a really good one. I'll share the Patreon as well for her. Yeah, if you want to check that out. Oops, the internet's just cut off. Let's get back in. Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
Shazam
Yeah.
transform. All right.
I'm using like Opera browser, so when I like mess around with the tab, sometimes it just closes everything. It's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Got
you
back
just
pretty
kind of
quick.
winked out of existence for a moment there and then popped back up. One of those, parallel universe things.
Yeah, it was like
Of
something
course,
out
you
of
might
like
get really
Star Trek or
confusing.
something.
Try to figure out perpendicular universes. Much more fun.
mhm.
Never heard of it. Sounds crazy.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so Mike, your money making thing, I just want to mention I got another gig that I've been making more money teaching classes for the Tech Hub, and now last week they sent me an invitation for from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and they're gonna give me $250 to go over there and tell high school kids about printing.
Wow. Insane. That's
And
really good.
that was the
Yeah.
same deal that I did that thing last fall where I did two different boot camps or 3 days, 2 hours each, and then another location, the exact same thing for a total of 12 hours of class time, and I got $2,000 out of that. So
Wow.
Sheesh.
yeah, so there's money in these tech hubs and stuff. If you got anything like that, you might want to check that around there. And I
Mm.
don't know what um, if you have anything like that, but yeah, they tend to offer good money. So
Yeah, it's really good. I've not heard of Tech Hub, but we do have like a local
Well,
university here. So
yeah, well, this is a local or a deal. It's a nonprofit that was formed in the Twin Cities in Minnesota a few years ago, and they, for whatever reason, they got one down there, and then they got two of them up here within about 15 miles or about 5 miles of each other. And I don't know why they, or no, 15 miles of each other. And I don't know why they, how they got up here and got it going, but it's through the school district provides the space and all that. Then they, then the Tech Hub gets grants and stuff, and they got a whole boatload of Macs and PCs over there. They got a little sound recording studio, and they got a couple 3D printers, and it's just, yeah, they're trying to get the kids into this stuff more now because there's a big shortage of STEM people out there, and they're trying to get these kids to look into it for career work. So
nice,
this one I'm
nice.
doing this. I think it's Tuesday next week. I'll be doing that 9 to 2 thing, and that's for high school kids, for rural kids out in the boonies, for these schools that are in these small towns, and they're going to bring in about 50 to 60 kids, I guess. So,
Wow. Okay.
and it's
But
all
do you have
free to
like
the kids, and huh?
do you have like a background in teaching? Have you learned like done teaching before?
Well, like for this stuff, yeah. I mean, over the years, I've taught guitar. I
Oh, lost them.
taught a
I'm
class
gonna
at
raise them.
and then I just another thing I did back in
There he
what was it,
is.
February. I did I did uh two Saturdays for what was it, 3 hours each for here. I don't know, yeah, I'm sure you have something like it over there. They have community education where individuals can teach classes twice a year. They have a catalog that comes out, and the instructor can teach whatever they want. Some of these things are an hour or two, and some of them are a few days. And the instructor, the school gets 20%. So I charged, I think it was $75, and I had 7 students, and so when all said and done, I got $420 for that.
Nice.
So, like I said, this teaching thing, but the way I do it is I just go into Chat GPT and I say, I got this class. I need a intro to 3D printing outline and whatever, and then make it super simple. And then in the end, though, you can follow the curriculum exactly, or you get a lot of questions. But out of the 7 people, only 2 of them actually had a printer of any kind
Oh
and
wow.
had any experience at all, and they were having difficulties. And um, as far as I know it, I'm not sure. We're in a town of about 10,000 in the city here, and I'm the only one around that's got as much experience as anybody around. So that's how I got. Once I got into these things, then, like I said, they refer you back and forth. So the when I did the Tech Hub one, then the community education director had seen that, and he told the lady, she got a hold of me and said, hey, see if this guy wants to do a 3D printing class. They're always looking for instructors to do more stuff. They
Wow.
have everything from stained glass, whatever people, whatever their hobby or what they know about. And so,
Hmm,
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty
impressive.
nice.
yeah, well, like I said, it's been making me some money. And
I'm sitting here
so,
in my little county, and I think it's possible that I have the majority of the entire county's 3D printer population.
yeah, it could be. And like I said,
Yeah.
what's your population base there?
Um, in the wintertime, I think the county population drops to about 3,000, comes up to
Yeah,
about 5,000 in the summer.
Wow.
But
yeah,
we have the only traffic light in the entire county is the light on the swing bridge that connects the island I live on to the mainland. There
oh, so you're,
there are no other traffic signaling
yeah,
devices in the entire county. Next county up from us, they're thriving. They've got 5 traffic lights.
yeah,
Wow.
And in
Impressive.
fact, that county and our county share court clerks, and each county has court 2 days a month.
yeah. Well,
Sheesh.
another thing, looking at
We're
trying to,
podunk.
another thing I may do here in a couple of months once I get it moved is I got to try a laser engraver class because there's a lot of interest in that out there too.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It goes along with 3D printing, a similar concept, and but anyway, so yeah, I'm just saying that's something you might want to look into. You got the expertise, and yeah, you know,
Yeah, because like we have a local university, like and I know they have like a 3D printing kind of section, but I think they're a bit outdated on what 3D printers they have. I remember looking at like there's like a little list of like what machines they have, so that could probably use some updating, and there's probably a bit of space for like some kind of teaching in that.
a lot of times what happens in this situation, the same thing that one of our colleges up here, it's about 35 miles out. They had gotten printers and they didn't know anything about what they were doing. They, thought, oh, this would be cool. So they bought a Stratasys for about $20,000 like 10
Wow.
years ago.
Yeah.
And basically, ever since then, it's been collecting dust because nobody had a clue how to use it. Well, of course, now the consumer printers are so advanced that it's stupid to buy one of those for something like that,
100%.
So,
Yeah.
and yeah, so they, but same thing, they, some like the principal of this other school told me they had a printer and they ended up sending it up to another school because they couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Reassuring to know that the intellectual capacity of our fine public educators, isn't it?
yeah. Well, and of course, they think in a whole different mode. They're looking at classes and the whole bit of what can we do something with this, and then they get money they got to spend. If they don't spend it, they don't get to their budgets
Yeah.
get decreased and all that. So
Because
And
they look
3D
like
printing in schools is it's almost a non-starter merely because of the time it takes to produce a print. You figure
Right.
your average class is 45 minutes.
you have to come back to it.
If you got a nice fast Core XY, congratulations, you can print a Benchy.
yeah,
What
But-
do you do? How much learning is in that? How to
Yeah,
slice
that's
it,
true.
how to throw it on a printer, maybe. But,
yeah,
and after you've seen the first 490 printed that semester,
Mhm.
the thrill pretty much leaves the party. So
Yeah, and I was gonna say like a lot of the schools, rather than like find the best 3D printers, they're just kind of going for like those education packages, like things that they know. Okay, this company does this, and they have this education package. It looks all kind of nice, and the price
Yeah.
tag, obviously, like you're saying, they just have to spend whatever's in this budget, so they don't really care about like the
Yeah.
quality. Kind of like a government
Well, and
versus
my,
private.
my fusion guy, Vladimir Marino, that I have the group on Tuesdays. So on his pages, you can see he also teaches at schools they have a special exception for that, so you don't have to have like a master's degree or whatever. But he gets around 2,200 or 2,400 for a semester teaching a class a week for 3D
Wow.
printing for schools. So as an instructor. So
That's
again,
impressive.
there's money in education if you can find that niche, just like the other stuff we're trying to find money in. So
Yeah, it's interesting because just general 3D printing. Yeah,
yeah, well, and they provide the equipment and stuff too. So
That's
the
true.
difficulty in finding the skill within the full-time faculty isn't something new. I remember when I was taking music theory and composition in high school, we had sitting over in one of the practice rooms a lovely mini Moog Model D. And we had a teacher, one of the classic synthesizers. Think the synth solos from Emerson, Lake, and Palmer in the early days. That was the mini Moog. Anyhow, our music teacher had no idea, but was terrified that we would mess it up if we moved any of the knobs.
oh yeah, yeah.
So this beautiful thing sat there. Now I've got a mini Moog Model D software synth. Yeah, you can find them for free left and right now. But I think, gosh, that's great, but it's 50 years later.
Yeah.
I'm finally getting a chance to get my hands on the darn thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was right there. So, yeah, it goes on. But
Sheesh,
yeah, I've been I gave a presentation on 3D printing to a model railroad group that I'm in, and
Nice.
and while it was useful because I pre-printed a lot of things related to model railroading, I when the one guy asking me to do it again said, "Well, can you have 3D printers here running?" And I'm going, "Do you want to sit here for 7 hours waiting for a finished print?" I mean, even with a fast printer, you're not going to whip out all the parts to build a boxcar in
Mhm.
20 minutes. It's just not going to happen, even in HO scale.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
it's a
Unless
little
you did
bit of a
did resin.
people hear printer and they think like a laser. I click over here and I hear a little whir as the fuser comes up to temp, and out comes a page. And after the first 12-second delay for the first page, subsequent ones come out every 2 seconds. Life is good.
Yeah.
I reckon we'll get to a point with like resin printing where it'll almost be like not instant, but it'll be like super quick. Because you think about the technology
Yeah.
of resin and just the light, there's probably going to be some way where they can like get the shape and just do some instant flashes and just build it up real quick.
There's some high speed stuff going on, and what I think would be interesting, and there is some speed to it also. Have you ever dealt with the laser sintering, doing like stainless steel 3D printing in a powder bed?
I've seen some videos a while ago.
Yeah, basically what you've got is just a bed of this powder that's fluidized with an airstream, and then they shut that off, and you come across and you level it. The laser fires a layer very quickly, and then a puff of powder comes on, the arm comes off, a thou higher, next layer gets laser fired. The really neat thing about that is because it's sitting in a powder bed, there is zero support structure needed, no matter how flaky you are, because the process is its own support structure. So you pick up this big esoteric exotic thing, like, well, let's say a V8 block that normally would have lots of casting and casting cores and all the rest of this happiness to it. And instead you pick it up and you go, and you shake out the stainless powder or whatever it is that you're fusing, and it's all done. It'll still need some finish machining because it is still a powder process, but it is solid metal when it's done. It's really pretty nice. And some of those run pretty fast, but
Sounds expensive.
A quarter million here, a $250,000 there. Eventually, you're talking real money.
Like how fast can you make a part with the laser sintering? It's like SLS, right? SLS.
I am not sure what speeds they're up to now. I know that a few of the physics wonks over at NIST, which is our National Institute of Standards and Technology, I know they were getting better than an inch an hour build times in fused stainless.
Wow.
And that was with a layer height. They were using, I want to say they were using like 15 micron powder. So they were printing 15 micron layers.
That's impressive. Stainless steel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, of course, they've got their own substation, so it really doesn't matter for power and everything else. And plus, they were printing is being done in a vacuum chamber.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
There's big bucks all around. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of exotica coming to the party. This was a funded R&D project of a bunch of, PhD physicists that happen to hang out with their model engineering group some of the time that suddenly found themselves with a large amount of funding and an extra 6-pack of beer and had a clever idea and went nuts and said, "Hold my beer while I go pull a vacuum on this pig."
Yeah, when you think about it, like government funding is insane if you can get the right kind of funding. Like they will just like funnel money to you like crazy.
Oh, the thing is that so much of it gets blown away and wasted that it's quite. Or or you get these ridiculous contradictory things. I was doing some funded R&D back in the 90s for a particular little project you remember called that was laughingly called Star Wars. We called it Edward Teller's Last Wet Dream. And but we would be asked to evaluate three things, and each of those things was mutually exclusive of the other two, and pick the best. Well, it doesn't work that way. You need to at least have three things that might make sense. So there was a lot of that going on, a lot of shenanigans, a lot of, some congressman's cousin had a daughter who started a company, and somehow we had to go and look at her sorry little science fair project and make believe it was brilliant.
Wow.
Mike, I forgot to mention too, one other way I made money in a different way was this guy decided he got on TikTok and saw these people 3D printing all this stuff and doing those giveaway things they do. And he got all excited about it. And he had got my name from one of the people that had went to one of the tech hub things I did. And so he got a hold of me and, man, I really want to do this. And he came over and saw my stuff and
I don't know what's happened to my camera.
Mike went away. Oh,
See if
okay.
it comes back.
Anyway, so I had he needed a computer. His computer had went toast. And so I had an old Mac Mini laying around and I had an extra, I got one of those 10 logs, the old one. And I said, I'll tell you what, he's a framer, carpenter. So I said, I need some tables built. So give me X number of hours of time helping me do that stuff. And I'll give you this computer and printer to get started. So again, not direct money cash, but it's still making me money in a way, not having to do that stuff myself. So,
Okay.
but, yeah, so trading out, so.
Yeah. Very nice, man. I like it. Yeah, like I haven't been posting as much, so I want to post more on my Facebook and try to get more kind of people. And another thing I want to do is so part of it's making content, but also want to do some outreaches. So start DMing people, just kind of having just a quick conversation, tell them about kind of what I can provide. And the good thing is, from the previous orders, I've got testimonials and stuff like that. So for the dragon, the eggs, the miniature horse, I don't know if you guys remember that one. I made a miniature dog as well. So those kind of things there, I've got some reviews and testimonials behind it. So that should help with getting customer orders. But I just really need to start doing the actual outreach and content.
What's your Facebook page, Mike? Can you put it in a link in there?
It's not a business one, just off my personal Facebook, just my name.
Right. I just wanted to find you in there and get you on my list. If I haven't done it already, I may have. So
Yeah. I don't know if it's connected, but yeah, my Instagram as well. It's let me see if I can quickly pop it in. But yeah, I've just been making some kind of basic posts. I did do some cool videos. Basically I made the nameplates for my barber. Did I show you guys that?
Yeah.
Nope, remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. So I made a couple videos based around that. That would be I shared it on Instagram, but it also shares to Facebook as well. Let me just link it in the chat real quick. Yeah, so that's my Facebook. Yeah.
Mike Baller?
Yeah, Mike D. Baller. It's a little play on words. This is a long time ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll
Yeah.
follow you, I guess, and then
Alright, sweet. Yeah. So yeah, I popped up a couple of videos because I'm trying to do more of a personal brand. Just they see me and it's okay, he does 3D printing stuff, so getting more into that kind of caliber, so people will feel comfortable reaching out to me and being okay, I have this project I want done, something like that, But I just need to start making more cool 3D prints, stuff that's shareable. Actually reminds me, I've been working on a couple of things, so let me quickly let me see if I can get around here. Yeah, I'll quickly grab a couple of projects I've been doing. got my little bag of goods here. Let's see if you guys can recognize it. So I've got a piece here. It's not yet stuck together, but you might start to recognize it as I put the pieces.
Basketball?
Nope. The next piece, this one's an obvious one.
Helmet of some kind?
You see that? Hold on. Let's get...
That's obvious? Okay, it's not obvious to me. I'm old, so.
Okay, this piece will make it obvious. Let's see if I... Is it the right way? It's this way. Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
helmet. Spider-Man
Exactly.
or something. Or
Nice.
Deadpool.
It's
Or
Deadpool.
one of them,
Yeah.
Deadpool, Okay.
I don't know if that's the right way around, but yeah. And I've got another one as well. So I basically put the magnets into this one. So it's still got the pieces and stuff. And I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, not really. 1 second.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotta be Batman.
There we go.
Batman!
That's Wolverine. It's Wolverine.
Oh, Wolverine!
Let
Wolverine.
me get a bit of
Okay, I
space
saw the
here.
ears and
See if
thought
I
it was
can-
Batman ears, but yeah.
See if I can connect it up.
Bad ears on a golden finch, for goodness sake.
So have you tried putting some of that stuff on your posts and see if you get any action on it?
Yeah. I'm gonna like make a post on it. I'm trying to put this thing together.
You're just doing that cosplay thing because some of those cosplay chicks are pretty crazy.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm trying to put this thing together, but yeah, I've basically put all the magnets into the Wolverine one, and I need to do the magnets for the Deadpool one. Yeah.
So is that glued together or snapped together?
So basically it snaps together. I'm trying to think.
okay.
Okay, yeah, this piece here. So I'm here fiddling around. So yeah, this piece goes in there, and then this side basically goes here. There we go. So you got that coming together.
Somehow I'm guessing there's a lot of supports involved on there, huh?
Yeah, decent. It's like not too much. It's a decent amount. It's not like a crazy amount of supports. Here we go. Yeah, so you can get a better picture of that. And you got like the little bottom plate part. So have you guys made like any helmets like that before? Any kind of like masks? Anything?
I've not yet printed a helmet, even though I've been going to take a stab at it. So
This piece came off. Yeah, this is like my first. It's not like my first one, but it's the first one with like magnets and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get this piece back in.
So, what was your post processing on that? Just supports, or did you have to sand it and stuff too? Or
So the quality on this one is pretty good. Like just off the bed, like I just had to clean up a bit of the kind of support marks at the bottom. But other than that, like, yeah, it's real good. Like, here we go.
Wow.
So we got like the bottom part there. Yeah. This one came out pretty good. It doesn't fit me too. It fits me like decently, but not like perfect.
is there some kind of insert
I
in
won't be able to
there?
hear you, but see if I can get this on. It kind of comes apart as I put it on. Let's see. We've
I
got
think
one
you may
side.
need to lose one piece of headgear to make the other piece go.
Trying to fiddle with this thing.
Yeah, you
Got
got a
the top side coming off
separation
now.
line running across the top of your
This is
head.
great. Okay, we'll just do one side.
There we
One
go.
side
That's
is working
good.
perfectly.
That's good. I like that.
Alright, but yeah, it's pretty good. I'm gonna get my headphones back in. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Yeah, but I'm gonna basically
does that
hot
have
glue
some
it.
kind of a? Does that have some kind of insert or something so it sets on your head, or?
Nah, no insert, just hollow in the middle.
Oh,
Yeah, like the size was a little bit tight. I basically follow like a YouTube video, and you basically get like a sizing head, and you put on a build plate, and then you kind of change the dimensions based on like measuring your own head. And then once you've done that,
Oh, okay.
yeah, once you've done that, basically you get the actual helmet and you start to expand it to make sure it actually fits on that new sizing head. And then you want to add in like a little bit more space, because like if you make it smaller, you're kind of screwed. But if you make it bigger, you can always add some more padding, you know. So
I'll be curious to see if you get some action with that on Facebook or something.
yeah, definitely. I try to do like some little like interesting skit on there. I'll see, and I've got obviously the Deadpool one as well. So that could be like a nice combination. Maybe I could do like one individual, do like a Deadpool / Wolverine kind of skit, just something like that, you know.
Deadverine. Merge the two. Confuse the hell out of people as you wander down the street.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
that
know
should be.
Uncle
be
Jesse on
interesting.
YouTube has made a ton of money on those helmets and stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely. Yeah,
there's a
helmet
bunch
stuff.
of people out there.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Like you got obviously the cosplay people. People like are always gonna be doing conventions. Got Halloween stuff. People just generally like who like Wolverine, Deadpool, always gonna want something like that. So there's a lot of potential there for sure. Yeah.
Another big one is Boba Fett. What is it? The Star Wars helmets and stuff.
Yeah.
They're really going to town on those too. So there's a bunch of those on Patreons that you can get to sell them, but it takes a lot of print time and to try to ship that stuff. It's just
A lot of filament,
Yeah.
a lot of print time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plus
Yeah.
post processing on a lot of them if they don't have a color printer big enough. Which supposedly now that new Bamboo with the H2D is big enough to print some of that stuff in full color in the first go without having to paint it. But
Nice. Yeah. Well, do you guys think you'd get that the H2D eventually, or what are your thoughts on it?
I have a
Off you.
love-hate idea with that thing because of I was hoping they'd do a 350 size build probably all around, but it's only 320 by I can't remember. It's not quite the size I was hoping for.
It's
But
like
Yeah.
320 by 290 by I don't
some
know.
weird
Random
numbers,
number.
but it's
Something with an umlaut and a tilde. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just
well,
some,
and then
They
they
should-
made
they
a
should've
version
just,
with a
like-
laser in it and stuff, and a vinyl cutter. It's like, why would
Yeah.
you want to
It's
have?
so weird.
Why would you have a laser smoke and all that inside the internals of the machine in a closed case? That just, I
Right.
mean,
well,
I,
you know,
I could
Terrible
just see
idea.
that destroying the 3D printing gears and all the stuff in there and the sliders. Because my X Tool S1, I mean, that you got to wipe down them rods and stuff regularly and really watch it on that. It's made for lasers, so they did a little better job and exhaust and stuff like I'm sure the H2D does. But I just wouldn't want to have printer stuff with full of smoke like that.
It doesn't make
especially
no
not
sense
doing-
because, like, when you think about Bamboo Lab, when have they ever done anything to do with lasers? Like, it doesn't come from anywhere.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
when they
it's
put out
insane.
their first printer, they did pretty well. So maybe they'll.
yeah, I mean, it's not exactly like they're the new folks on the block. I mean, you look at how many inexpensive lasers Sculpt Fun has pumped out and how many upgrades from 5 to 10 to 20 watt
Mhm.
diode heads they've done.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I mean, and the scale. I mean, I've got a Sculpt Fun and I put a couple of extra long rails on the darn thing. Now I can do 16 by 34-inch, I believe.
yeah.
Is, that's nice if you're doing a large ship model or something or an O-scale building. You're not
Yeah.
packing everything together. You just let it go. But I tell you, you start slicing up that birch plywood, That laser hits that glue layer and the smoke boils right on out. You better have an air assist. And
Yeah.
I use one of those grow tent evacuation hoods and just
Wow.
pump it right out the door.
Yeah. That's what I'm
In
waiting
the
to do.
wintertime, I'll pump it through one of the charcoal filters just to save heat from giving up the heat. But no, that's yeah, you can fill a shop with smoke very fast, cutting out a not very big project.
Yeah, it's like when I had my Snapmaker, I think A250 or something. It's a 3-in-1, the laser CNC and 3D printer, and I had to get like this little vent and just like wrap it around under my bed, and then had it coming out the window and stuff. So
Yep.
that was an interesting one. And this thing was massive. Like I don't know how I fit into my room, but it was huge. Like it was like hanging off the table, and I had like the whole enclosure with the Snapmaker there. I don't know how I did it, but I pulled it off. Did a review on it and everything. Yeah.
Needs must, I think, is the technical term.
Yeah.
Find a way.
Basically, yeah. It's kind of like when I got, I think, the Neptune 3 Max, and I had it on this surface up here.
What size is that one? I can't remember. I looked that up.
3
before.
Max. What's that? A 400? Is it?
I can't remember exactly, but
I mean, a 3 Plus is what, a 330 by 330 by 370 or something?
yeah, let me quickly look it up. So
Something like
Elegoo
that. 320 or
3
330.
Max. Let's see. Let's have a quick look. But yeah, this thing was like hanging. Basically, all the sides was this hanging off of it, and okay, yes, 420 by 420 by 500.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did I do that one? Yeah. And basically, it's in my attic right now. You can just put like a normal 3D printer right on the bed, and it fits like no problem.
Oh yeah.
It just sitting on there. So that's how big it
And
is.
then you put an A1 Mini on the bed of the other one, and you see how much hilarity ensues when you send data to the wrong printer.
That's got to be like there's something there. A 3D printer building a 3D printer building a 3D printer.
Well, that's what RepRap was to start with. You know,
Yeah.
self-replicating.
Nice. Could you imagine like at the same time it's like midway through printing another printer and somehow printing the other one?
Well, you know, sometimes you get close to that. I mounted a TAG lathe on the cross slide of my South Bend large lathe when I needed a powered cross spindle.
I don't know what any of those words meant.
A little baby metal lathe mounted on just what normally holds the tool on a big lathe. So you got a baby lathe mounted, and if you need to poke a hole in the side of something on a round or do things of that nature, you need some kind of what's called a live spindle, a tool that spins rather than just a fixed cutter. So
Okay.
yeah, you cobble together some very strange things when you need to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, I'll probably get my resin printer out as well. Yeah, what do you guys think about resin printing, like in terms of what would be profitable? I know obviously miniatures is big. Like what other kind of things did you think of like for resin printers?
One thing that's big, if you're familiar with the market, is scale details for model railroaders. Less so for model boat builders, interestingly enough. That's a pretty well saturated market, and there's a lot of people that have been in the game a long time that are casting in white metal, pewter, things like that, and or injection molding because there's a big enough demand worldwide. But the 3D printing stuff for model railroaders, if you go to a model railroad show and you look at the stuff in the hang bags, you're sitting there going, My God, that would take me 2 minutes on my laser to make, and they want $20 for it. And it's less than 1 square foot of 3 millimeter birch ply, 99 cents a sheet. Oh, hell, if I were younger, I know what business I would go all in on. And that would be one of them right there.
Wait, so what is it exactly?
Just a lot accessory stuff, stupid little things. Like if you look at a model railroading magazine, ignore the railroad track and the trains themselves, but look at the loads in not in the boxcars, but say the loads in gondolas and open cars where you can see what's on there. Transformers on a flat car. On the side of the railroad, there's all kinds of things that dragging equipment detectors, all kinds of little detail that the fanatical model railroader will just litter a layout with to make it look more lifelike. The guys that are hardcore are amazing. You see a photograph taken down low along a model railroad track. There's a guy, Boomer Diorama. If you want your eyes to frost over, he does stuff like spend 3 days modeling a drainage ditch between two tracks. And when he gets done and he takes a picture of it, you're going, holy cow. Which is the original photo and which is the model. And these guys have disposable income. And for good stuff they can't get elsewhere, they will pay a premium for it. It's quite startling.
Okay. Yeah.
But of course, you're going to have to CAD the stuff up. You know, you're not going to find models off the shelf to print that are really good quality. Most of the Thingiverse HO scale stuff's pretty crappy. Although people,
wait, so would it be like custom orders?
I saw people paying $7 a piece for HO scale picnic tables.
Wow.
And that model came right off of Thingiverse.
Okay.
I use it as one of my test models after I'm dinking with a printer to see if it can print it or not and how good the resolution is. And if all 4 legs actually stay in place when it comes off the build plate.
Yeah,
it's one of those flimsy, easily breaks, easily sags, all bridges for FDM. It's a nightmare print.
Yeah,
I think it comes
like
mostly down to like,
thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think it comes down mostly to like, you know, the demand. Like, how can you kind of find the people who are willing to buy that? That's like the key thing. Because we can all 3D print, but like, how do you find the people that's actually like, okay, I want to pay for that? Like,
those are not going to be. Those are going to be direct sale type things. You know, you're going to have you'd be putting up a website, Shopify or one of the other ones that makes it easy to handle finances. I don't know what the finance laws are in the UK or how you folks handle that sort of thing. I don't see it being much different from the US when I've ordered things from UK vendors, you know, except I don't pay VAT, but I pay a lot more shipping. You know, it's okay.
Yeah. So it's like, it's because you couldn't really set up a website and it just be like something quick. It's usually someone who looks like they're more established, right? Or what do you think?
Well, I think that if you're doing something very specific that no one else does, you know, like if you were to model something, these guys, the historical guys are nuts. So if you were to find things that weren't available, who just are desperate for details for like Great Western or some of these other things, or trackside stuff that would have been around where Brunel was in the early days of Steam. That's the kind of weird stuff that the historical railroading guys could go nuts for. But
so would you be able to find like, let's say like on Facebook, like a Facebook group full of just like these guys, you know, that's really highly interested in it?
You'd probably find it more in forums than you would in a Facebook group. Most of the model railroaders are old farts. They're graybeards, and some of them are very technical. Some of them are not so much.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
third of the guys probably in my model railroad club have to get their kids or somebody to order stuff online for them because they just don't get it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
That's
think
the frustration.
the
But
meeting's
they
gonna
spend
cut
a
out
lot of
soon.
money.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we're
definitely,
about to
definitely.
get booted.
Yeah,
Anyway,
man,
you were
definitely.
asking for something weird and different. That's weird and different, but it certainly
100%,
has
yeah.
dollars.